Hi everyone. So, from my program completion map, I would say that the one thing that I enjoyed the most was the classmate interviews, um, which allowed me to really get to know each of the people in my cohort as I felt intimidated when we first began our classes, as I didn't really know a lot about anybody else in the program and I just felt kind of alone. But as I conducted these interviews, it was nice to put a name to a face and interact with people as I've realized that it can be hard being online and kind of getting an idea of the person. And so this kind of allowed me to really get to know each and every member of my cohort. And so here's some interesting information, kind of the Discord name, the time zone that they're in, best times to contact them, which would be really helpful in both work settings and just if I had any questions in general. And then I have my interview worksheet so that I can have some more information about each of them. And then the two aspects of this program completion map that I'm most proud of is my time management plan, which outlines my priorities and commitments, as well as my stress management and self care plan. And these are like my self care strategies. And then I also told myself to listen to Golden Hour whenever I get really sad. That always just makes me really happy. It makes me feel much better about myself, kind of hypes me up. But so I'm most proud of this because in the past I've really lacked the ability to put myself first and I end up spreading myself out too thin. Um, and because of like the reflection piece within time management, I've been able to set my priorities for the year and kind of set a goal for myself. And so one of my goals was that I realized that I was putting too much time into work rather than school, even though school was my top priority. And so I made a goal for myself that by the end of September, I was gonna put in my 2 weeks. And so I really stuck to that and I was able to stand my ground and speak up for myself. And then also in my self care plan, I talked a lot about like wanting to go back to the gym and get into that. And since I have like kind of reflected on this self care plan, I have started going to the gym more frequently and I've become more aware of like my food intake and making sure it's healthy and trying to get enough sleep so that I'm taking care of myself and putting in that effort to make sure that I'm okay, as well as that I don't get sick, especially since we're going into that fall winter season. And I would say that quitting my job kind of uneased like the unnecessary stress that I was putting on myself. I was constantly like feeling overwhelmed and like I couldn't complete everything I needed to do. And so I'm just really proud of myself for being able to do that because of these two assignments. And it really allowed me to realize the importance of standing up for myself. And then I would say that the biggest challenge that I overcame through this was just like um, the letter to myself and like my future self. Um, I realized that I spent a lot of time thinking about what's happening right now in the moment and I like to be more present in what's going on now rather than worrying about the future, but honestly, the future is just as important as the present. And I've also realized that I'm a person that's very much go with the flow. And so it's really hard for me to make long-term goals to stick to because I feel like they are just always changing. And I know that like life has a way of getting in the way and teaching you different things, but just trying to set that forward and kind of like try and come up with a game plan as to what I hope to do and where I hope to end up. Um, but I did enjoy learning about different state licensures, because it was something that I hadn't really like heard a lot about. Um, and so it was really interesting because that's kind of like skewed what I hope to do and like where I hope to go in my future. Um, But yeah, I think this will be a really interesting piece to like reflect on later to see if I'm still interested in doing cancer genetics. As well as if I do end up in Colorado, I know like my friends and I have been talking about it for a couple of years now, but you know, you never know what's gonna happen. And then the other part that I'm looking forward to using once we get closer to it is the fieldwork preparation checklist. So I hope that I can use this when we get closer to doing our clinical rotations so that I can have a better idea as to like what to expect and kind of think about moving forward before I begin that rotation. So, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week 7.